The Obsidian Theatre Festival is back for its fourth year. The event is scheduled for June 27th through the 30th and features 4 plays, a musical, and a cabaret fundraiser at various locations in downtown Detroit. The festival was created to uplift Black stories and storytellers. I spoke with John Sloan III, CEO and Artistic Director of GhostLight Creative Productions. We are excited to welcome an old friend of ABJ. Welcome once again, John Sloan III, and you're wearing your theater hat this time.
I am. Yeah, thanks so much. It's great to be back.
So exciting things coming up at the end of the month, and we've got a variety of things to talk about. But just talk about the impact and what the Obsidian, the whole theater event is.
Yeah. So 2020 was a hard year for everybody, right? It was a hard year because of a pandemic, but it was also a hard year because we all had to wrestle with social justice upheavals. And for some folks, that was shining a new light on things, and for others, it was a reminder of what we deal with on a regular basis. And for me, as an artist and an activist, I wanted to figure out how to put both of those things into the same energy, right, and into the same effort. And so that's where the Obsidian Theatre Festival came from. We have been going into our 4th season, a consistent annual platform for emerging Black voices in theater and film, a place where writers know they don't have to be censored, where directors can get a shot at directing a new piece, where actors can work. And we pay and employ every year over 100 folks to be able to produce this work. We film the work. We stream the work online. And this year, as we go into our 4th season, I'm really thrilled to say that we're also growing the full year-long programming and launching an Impact Arts Conference here in Detroit. So we got a lot of stuff going on in June.
Magnificent. And I know in terms of the plays this year, you've got a broad range. Kind of just touch on the themes and what the plays are that are going to be presented.
Yeah, we do. It's difficult, right? Because we do a blind submission process. And so we have no idea where these pieces are coming from. We remove any identifying information from the playwrights when they do their applications, just to make sure there's no bias, right, in how we're choosing and selecting these pieces. And we really have some amazing work this year. We've got a piece called The Sisters Gray, which touches on kind of topically the interesting, intense relationships between Black and Jewish communities. And we've got a piece called The Crooked Parts, which is a wonderful exploration of a relationship with a Black trans man and his mother. And then we have just a couple of hilarious pieces in Black Santa, which is this wonderful exploration of what happens when a little Black girl decides to tell her class that Santa is a Black man from Detroit. And the upheaval that happens in this like white privileged charter school, right? And then we've got a really amazing family-centered piece called The Golden Lock, which is this beautiful fantasy tale about a young girl who goes through her mirror into this world of fairies and discovers beauty in herself, in her hair, in her skin. And so we've got pieces that span the entire spectrum. We're producing a musical over at the Opera House. We've got an opening night cabaret at the Gem. So we've got options for everybody.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. There is something for everyone, so everybody can be excited. Have you seen things or themes or attitudes change since the pandemic, since you started this? Now that people are able to get out a little bit more, take in a little bit more?
Yeah, it's interesting. Our first season we produced right in the middle of the pandemic, right? And I remember it being January and February of 21. And trying to figure out how do you get actors and designers and directors all in the same room and do it in a way that keeps everybody safe, right? And that's healthy. And so we worked really hard with our COVID advisor that year and our whole staff. And we streamed everything that year. There was nothing in person. And we had about 11,000 views of our content in our first year, the vast majority of whom were from Detroit, right? As we've grown and begun to produce in person, we've seen our in-person audiences grow. We've also seen our streaming audiences grow, but that growth has been nationwide. So while we have a strong and robust community of people in Detroit that are still going to go home and watch, like if you can't get downtown, maybe you don't want to deal with the parking, and you're sitting at home and you want to figure out how you can catch this work, we do stream everything out in the fall. But we're also seeing a great community growing, and not just in New York and LA and Chicago, but in Houston and in St. Louis and in Baltimore, of folks that really want to be able to connect and touch the work. And that's something that we're really excited about.
So you're seeing that you're meeting the needs of everybody, because I think there are a lot of people that just can't wait to get out these days. And
Yeah,
it's so nice to have that in-person interaction, but you have other people that can't get out. So
100%.
you're meeting the needs of everyone. How does
Yeah.
the community help you get the word out?
I mean, I think community has become a buzzword in a lot of ways. You hear people say, oh, we need to do this for community without ever really identifying who they're talking about.
Mhm.
For us, we start by thinking about our community as being the Black Detroiters, the artists in this city who want to be able to have that opportunity to make their voices heard. And in that sense, we work with them. We share our work, they share their work. I'm really excited for some programming we're launching. We're launching neighborhood engagement programming over in the Live 6 neighborhood. So Fitzgerald, Bagley, Sherwood
Okay.
Forest. We have an installation that's going to go up over there, and it's going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the next 2 weeks. And
Oh,
the
great.
goal with that is to continue to offer that type of artistic access, but also to say to folks, what is it you need? Right? Like, what type of work do you want to present? What type of classes and workshops do you want to see? And all that stuff is going to go up and start when we launch the Impact Arts Conference at Wayne State. And the goal for all of that is to make sure that we're not thinking of ourselves as being separate and apart from the community, but that we're all tied together. So go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, so that Impact Arts Festival is before the performances actually start.
Yeah, June is a busy month for us, man. We're doing a lot. So we have our installation over at Live 6 called Our Stories on Stage. And that's going to be a collection of images and moving pictures from previous seasons. Then we've got the Detroit Impact Arts Conference that is going to be at Wayne State in the McGregor Building. And that's going to be that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So June 24th, 25th, and 26th. And then starting on the 27th is when we kick off the festival downtown, the 27th through the 30th.
Exciting. So
Right.
tell me about the playwrights. Have you seen
Yeah.
that change over time? Age range, number of people who applied, once the word gets out, I'm sure, like you said, this is a platform that's not judgmental, not subject to censorship. So I would think that there'd be a lot of people that want to jump at this.
We get over 125 submissions every year for this type of a festival. And that's a good amount based upon our size. Remember, we're only 4 years old, right? We're toddlers. And so as we're growing, we're seeing more and more folks come. And the one thing I do want to impress upon everybody is this is a Detroit-centered project. And so 80% of the people that are from that are from our work that we center in our company are Detroiters, are Black Detroiters. And that's really, really important to us. We're also seeing the types of stories shift, right? And being a writer is an interesting prospect. You start writing a piece in 2020 and it takes you a year or two to get it up. And now it's 2022, 2023, and the world has changed around you. And so we're seeing these pieces that are reflective of that. We're seeing these pieces that speak to the current politics that are happening around us, whether that is overseas, whether that's right here, whether that's the politic of next door neighbors that might be from different backgrounds and how they relate to each other and how they communicate. And we're seeing all of our artists really being involved. Something that I'm really, really proud of is the fact that our playwrights get to have conversation with the directors, with the actors. And for a lot of these writers, this is one of the first times they've seen their pieces up on a stage. And that's a huge value.
Exactly. And what does that say to young people in the community when they start to see that and understand that there are opportunities for them out there?
When I was younger, I was blessed to have two parents that are educators and a mother and auntie that are music teachers. And so I had access, right, to a whole lot of work, a whole lot of cultural experiences that I assumed were standard. I figured everybody has access to this, right? And
necessarily.
unfortunately, not necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah. And DPSCD does what they can. Organizations like Mosaic Youth Theater or Matrix, they do what we can. We're also doing our best to provide that platform. And so one of the things that we really want to do is make sure that young people, young artists, and also emerging artists of any age, there's some 35, 45, 55-year-olds that want to shift careers and start something new and always wanted to get into this, right? So we want to make sure that they have an understanding of what that career path can look like.
So last 30 seconds, just recap the exact activities that are coming up and quickly the dates, because there's all kinds of opportunities, and I'm sure they can go to your website as well.
100%. If they go to obsidianfest.org, they can find out everything about the festival. If they go to ghostlight.art, ghostlight.art, they can find everything else out about all of our youth programming. So that's June 14th through the 22nd at Live 6 for Our Stories on Stage, the installation, the Detroit Impact Arts Conference, June 24th through the 26th at Wayne State University, and the Obsidian Theatre Festival, June 27th through the 30th, downtown Detroit.
Exciting times ahead this month. Thanks so much, John, for joining us. Good to have you on the show again, and we're looking forward to all those performances.
Thanks so much, Trudy. Hope to see you there.
That's going to do it for this week. You can find out more about our guest at AmericanBlackJournal.org. Plus, connect with us anytime on social media. We're going to leave you now with more of Black Box Performance. Take care, and we'll see you next time.